Very nice to see everyone again. So please now prepare yourselves well and sit up nicely. Good posture, body and mind alert. And prepare yourselves to be absolutely still now for the next 55 minutes or so. Good posture, body and mind alert. Sit up well. And you close your eyes. And as you close your eyes, you leave behind all that you've been doing, all that you've been worrying about, everything. And you remind yourselves that past is past and future is still in the future. And all you ever really have is right now. So try to keep your attention here and now. And we'll commence as usual by bringing to mind the Buddha, reminding ourselves of our great teacher and inspiration, recollecting his perfect mind, a mind that was not only free of any kind of defilement, but far away, far distant from any such. a mind of infinite compassion, a truly wonderful being, perfect in knowledge and conduct. Now, when you recollect the Buddha like this, then you should be inspired to follow in his footsteps and to try to cultivate your mind to be like his, especially to be free of all greed, hatred, and delusion, and free of suffering. And then next, we must take a moment or two to remind ourselves of metta, loving kindness, and the cultivation of metta, especially for ourselves. Don't be shy about caring for yourself and even learning to love yourself. Be kind to yourself. And that doesn't mean condoning any kind of bad behavior, anything at all, but it means what it says, caring for yourself, helping yourself to do better, to be better, but always understanding that for now you're not yet perfect and mistakes are almost inevitable. And the same with regard to others. Be kind to them. They're not yet perfect. They'll make mistakes. They'll behave badly and unpleasantly sometimes. But they also have the potential to do better, be better. And then we must spend a few moments next reminding ourselves of the nature of our existence. Here we are, we're human beings. And we're living a life that, of course, is subject to change and time. And that means aging. Life hath but one direction, and time's its only measure. And also, of course, as we live, we know that from time to time we become unwell, and we could become very unwell. That happens to some people, or meet with an accident. It's a very vulnerable existence that we live. And of course, we all know, although we may not want to dwell on it, that one day we will die. And so will all our friends, relatives, loved ones, everyone. All that lives must die. This is the human condition. Aging, sickness, and death. So now just check that you are sitting up well, and quite deliberately gather and concentrate your mind. Don't allow it to scatter, to go off here and there now, but try to keep it together. And focus your attention on your body, your physical form. Be aware of the solid nature of this physical form, and that within it there are fluids of various kinds, a number of organs and various parts, all within a framework of bones, a skeleton. And also within your physical form there is warmth and heat and air that you breathe in and breathe out. Now attend carefully to that breathing in and breathing out. Wherever and however you perceive the breath, fix your attention there. And be like the good gatekeeper. Never mind where anything or anyone is coming from or where they're going to, but just be aware as they pass at the gate. Just be aware of your breath at that moment. In breath, your out breath. The complete in breath, complete out breath. Remember to simply watch, to use any movements of your mind, any distractions that occur, any interruptions to your concentration, and let them go. So please maintain your very good and very still posture. And during the next few minutes while I'm talking, just listen, that's all. So what you've been doing and what you're doing now is, of course, very good. It's a good thing to be doing. It's what might be called meritorious. It's what is known in Pali as punya. It has a good effect. It affects you who are doing it, and it affects other people. What we do at any time may have these dual effects. What we do affects us and affects others. When we do good things, it's of benefit to us. It changes us, even if only ever so slightly, for the better. And it affects others and changes them too. It's good. when we do things which are not so good, well, we sort of poison ourselves a bit, and we might upset and cause others to suffer and be not very happy. If we deliberately do things that are harmful, then we certainly do ourselves a lot of damage. And we might also, of course, damage other people quite badly. Our actions affect us and affect others. And the effect is conditioned by what we've intended. This is all what is known as karma or kamma. The Pali seems to me a bit more precise about all this. Kamma and kamma vipaka. Action and the fruit or the effect of action. And then what did the Buddha say about this? Cetana is kamma. Intention is kamma. What do you really mean to do? What is going on in your mind when you act, when you've done something? We do things all the time, don't we? We can't help it. We have to do many things during any day. And we, of course, have to interact with all sorts of other people. And we can't help because our minds are not yet pure, not yet perfect. We can't help but do some things that are not very good. And our intentions may not be very good. And even when we do the good things and we think we've intended to be kind, to give, and so on, if we examine ourselves, we'll probably find that actually that merit is a tainted merit. There's a bit of self, there's a bit of desire to be thought well of, to be considered a generous person. Our minds are not pure, and we can't help it. Our attachment to self gets in the way. But still we can do our best, and we ought to try. All the time we ought to be trying to do our best. Because it is important. It's important not just for those who are affected by what we do and what we say. It's important for us too. Because our actions and our mental state, our intentions behind those actions are creating for us our future. All the time we are changing. With everything we do, we change, we are affected, we grow, and we, even very subtly, become someone and something different. We don't see it, and we don't perhaps acknowledge it. After all, we look the same from day to day, more or less. And people think of us as more or less the same. But we're not. This is karma. This is kamma. It's changing us all the time. And hopefully, it's helping us to grow and develop and to do and be better. Kamma and rebirth are of course linked. What we do, our intention, our Kamma, affects our rebirth. And you don't have to think just about what happens when you die or after you die, but now, because there is a constant rebirth happening. And while you've been sitting this evening and watching your minds, you may have been very conscious of that. You've watched thoughts and feelings and various consciousnesses arise and fall as they've interrupted your attempts to concentrate. Those movements of your mind when your concentration is interrupted are really invaluable, so long as you can watch them. This is a brilliant practice. It demands that we make use of our ability to watch. And then we see this process of rise and fall, thoughts and feelings being born, persisting and dying, and being replaced by something else. And it's that process that continues when the body falls out of the picture. And all the time, we are, even if we don't realize it sometimes, creating our future with what we say and what we do and the intention behind it. So you ought to be mindful not just of your actions, but of what's going on behind them, the intention. It's an important and powerful practice to watch your mind thus, to watch your intentions, and to be very honest about what you see. I mean, we all have tended to cover up things. You know, we get a bit sort of stroppy about something and then we justify it because it's a good thing. It needed to be done, it needed to be said. We really were trying to help. Really? Be honest. And be conscious of trying to be not just good, but peaceful. Try to develop a mind that is doing no harm, that is peaceful. And consider that when things upset you and things go wrong, and your mind gets all stirred up. Don't be too hard on yourselves because this happens to everyone. It's not unusual. You're not, an especially bad person because that happens to you. It happens to all unenlightened beings. Sometimes it's seen, it's obvious, it's very external, and sometimes it's not, it's contained. People are quite good at hiding the way they feel sometimes, but it's still there. So don't be too hard on yourself. It's normal, but still it's to be learned from and improved on if you possibly can. This business of the intention behind actions is very important, by the way. You have to know what you're intending, what you're doing. People get a bit upset about when they're trying very hard to keep the precepts, to not do any harm, not to kill anything. sometimes frightened almost to do anything. Some teachings, of course, on karma leave out entirely any reference to intention. So yes, if you accidentally swallow a fly or step on a beetle, it's regarded as serious. But if you're doing your garden, pulling up a weed or two, and some poor creature gets hurt, well, what was your intention? Your intention was to pull up the weed. It wasn't to damage the creature. Like that old monk in the story, who was seen on his walking path, walking up and down and squashing all kinds of small creatures as he went. Well, the monks criticized him, came to the Buddha and told him. The Buddha said, that old monk is an arahant. But he's blind. He can't see. He can't see those creatures on his path. He has no intention to do any harm, no intention whatsoever. You have to make your mind kind of strong. What were you intending to do? Were you intending to cut the grass, tidy the garden? I mean, that's an important thing to do. If you don't do it, you won't be able to get from one end of the garden to the other at a time. And by the way, thinking about gardening brings you back to training your mind. You have to pull out the weeds. If you don't pull out the weeds, if you don't attend to the mess, then it just gets worse. And there's no room for the flowers to bloom. No chance for things to flourish. So you have to deal with the mess and pay attention to your mind and encourage what is important. Be aware of what's going on, what you're intending, and try to make things better. Be mindful and aware. Recognize that mindfulness practice is rooted in the practice of virtue and guided by right intention and especially right view. So that's enough from me for now. We'll sit for another few moments and please now direct your mind to cultivate loving kindness for yourself and for others. May you and all beings be well and happy. May you and all beings be free from all suffering. May you and all beings realize for yourselves the secure peace of Nirvana. Araham Samma Sambuddho Bhagavan Buddham Bhagavantam Abhivadi Swagato Bhagavantam Dhammam Namassami Supatipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Sangham Namami. Thank you all very much for coming. Very good to see you. I hope you have a good week and we'll meet again soon. So, good night.